I just feel like if she competed in international meet, the judges would be like, eat the pencil, throw it away. Nobody needs it.
So good. It's so good. I want to eat a pencil. That's the name of Jessica's committee to get gymnastics judging to enter the 21st century in terms of technology and electronics. It's going to be called Judges Eat Your Pencils Incorporated. You shouldn't have a pencil. You need to have an iPad.
The USA Gymnastics men's program manager says she was fired for a failure to report to SafeSport, but the info she had didn't amount to a good faith complaint. USA Gymnastics countered, and we will read their exclusive statement to Gymcastic. Anna Bărbosu has been suspended for whereabouts violations, not doping, different things. The IOC says Belarus can compete now. And we have mini commissions today on Acro and on our Dream Elite NCAA team. It's May 11th, 2026. And welcome to Gymcastic, the #1 gymnastics podcast in the galaxy. I'm Jessica and here with Spencer from the Balance Beam Situation. 2 corrections to start today, because when we make a mistake, we own it. And the first one is mine.
We own it and we make it the lead story. Some might say, is Jessica mistaking Kara Eaker's beam medal history last week's episode the top headline in gymnastics world right now? And I would counter yes, because any opportunity I have to make fun of Jessica is more important news than anything else going on in the world. So last week we were discussing Kara Eaker. Jessica happened to say she was a world beam bronze medalist. And I was like, that sounds right. My brain was like, sure, take it in. Sure, why not? That's not correct. She is a 2-time world team gold medalist. She is a beam finalist in Doha. She could have been a beam medalist, but was sabotaged by her routine composition / inquiries. In competitionist.
What I meant to say was,
if that's an ist.
A 2-time bronze sabotaged world champion of bronze beam. Because as we remember, for years, we were like, change your composition. You're not going to get credit for that when you compete outside of the United States. And every time, that's exactly what happened. And then she was sabotaged when her coach did an inquiry and she got a lower score. So we have never forgotten. And that's the only history that matters to me, because that's all I can remember, that she should have won a beam medal and didn't because composition.
In the history of medals people should have won. In Jessica fantasy medals, Kara Eaker beam, definitely.
She's a world medalist.
That's a priority.
Everybody knows that. And then we talked about the Zuchold-Schleudern, which is basically you do a stoop through from the high bar and you shoot yourself to the low bar, grab the low bar, like a backwards pack. And we had said, so I had a fantasy skill that was you do this one with a 1.5 turn, like a sights, but from the high bar with a stoop before it. And we talked about how Ruby Harold had made that, old 70s skill that everybody had in their 1970s routine popular again. And then we were talking about doing it with a half turn, and we mistakenly didn't credit it to Tabea Alt.
We did not give Tabea Alt her due, because neither of us could come up with who got that named after herself. Tabea Alt. Legendary.
Legend. Thank you, Tabea Alt, for doing something cool and original, and it looked great. So our hats off to you. In the headlines, let's talk first about what happened with Anna Bărbosu, Romanian bronze medalist on floor at the Paris Olympics after the CAS inquiry, which now went to the Swiss Supreme Court, and the Swiss Supreme Court has now sent it back to CAS, and CAS has to take everything into account, including the video evidence that shows that Jordan Chiles got her inquiry in on time. But for now, still the floor bronze medalist, currently at Stanford, and that is where the situation comes in about a whereabouts violation. Can you explain what happened, Spencer?
So gymnasts who are in the anti-doping pool have to subject themselves to regular unannounced testing, because you want to make sure, the anti-doping officials want to make sure you can't prepare for it. You can't be like, oh, I'm going to stop you can't know it's going to happen. Otherwise, it kind of defeats the purpose of a test for doping. So you get unannounced testing every so often. Athletes have to inform the organization of what their daily whereabouts are going to be, as well as a time slot on that day where they'll be available for testing and where they're going to be for that testing. If you are not there, or there is some kind of miscommunication, or the tester can't find you, or you leave the room while the tester is there, or something like that, you get a whereabouts violation in a 12-month period, which is also called a year. So, but you know, if you're official and legal, you say in one single 12-month period instead of like a year. You can't have 3 whereabouts violations. And if you do, you will be suspended. Ana Bărbosu had 3 whereabouts violations. So she is currently appealing this, but is provisionally suspended from international competition. So if she were planning on, you know, heading to Tashkent to do a World Challenge Cup, she would not be able to do that right now. But that is still ongoing because she is appealing the suspension. But I think the thing you always want to clarify is that it's not a positive test. There's not a doping violation. It's a whereabouts violation, which is the rules. Those are the rules, and there are consequences for not following the rules. It's not the same thing as like you were doping and got suspended for a failed drug test.
Yep. And again, they didn't catch her like leaping out of a window like that bicycle cheater, the American bicycle cheater who was sponsored by the U.S. Mail. Remember that guy? And everyone had those bracelets.
I think you're describing Lance Armstrong, but yeah. I just wanted to let you go for as long as you were going to go.
The bicycle cheater who was cheater, and built all of this brand off of cheating. It's nothing like him. What happened? So, yeah. And the thing about that, we talked about this extensively on Behind the Scenes, but basically, you know, you have to provide a 60-minute window, you know, where you'll be available. And it's not like they walk into the gym and then say, hi, we're here to see Ana Bărbosu. Can you go get her? Because then then she knows you're coming. Then anybody knows you're coming. So
and you can go you know, theoretically, if you're trying to cheat, you could go grab your fake pee that someone else peed, right, or something like that.
Or whatever you do. And so that
whatever you do to cheat. I don't know. I imagine all kinds of subterfuge that probably is real because there are documentaries about it.
Yes. And this is the same thing that happened to Yule. And so, but she is appealing it, and she has a really good lawyer, and the Federation is supporting her too. So we'll see what happens. Normally when the Federation supports you, then you have a much better shot, because we know of other athletes who have had this same thing threatened basically. And when the Federation went to bat for them, they had it removed because they could explain exactly what happened.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, as we talked about on Behind the Scenes, if for those of you who might want to be a Club Gym Nerd member who can get the in-depth conversations on Behind the Scenes, we got the insight from Scott Bregman when we were talking about this on Behind the Scenes, where he was like, athletes will specifically, they have to give that 60-minute window. They give it as early as possible in the morning because they know they're going to be in bed. And like, you're not going to not be able to find me. I'm definitely going to be in bed. So I'm in bed. I did my job. I'm where I said I was going to be. Which is, you know, I hadn't really thought about the strategy of it, but I'm like, that makes sense. Mm-hmm. If you mostly don't know where you're going to be, but you're like, you know what? I don't wake up that early. I know where I'm going to be then.
And then so Behind the Scenes where you get the stories about why that would never have worked for me in college. No. I was never in my bed. So in the spirit of how sex positiveness, that's this show. The IOC no longer recommends restrictions on Belarusian athletes.
Wait, is that your transition?
I didn't mean
for that. That was not intended as a transition, because I was like, wait, huh?
But I assume Belarus is also very sex positive. I don't know, though. Write in if you have info on this. So basically, the restrictions are still in place for Russia. They have to compete as an independent athlete, and they have to go through the screening process that says, yes, you're really independent. And we saw like Melnikova qualified for an independent athlete, but other athletes like Listunova have not, because didn't she appear at that rally with Putin? Which was an anti-Nazism rally. But you know, everyone's against Nazism, but hopefully, but it was also like about winning the war against Ukraine and like crazy, you know. Then the reason Russia was originally suspended was not because starting a war, it was starting a war during the peace treaty time that the Olympics has. So you can't do it during the Olympics. So surely the U.S. will be banned from the Olympics they're hosting anytime. So what did they say specifically about why they are allowing them to compete now?
Well, what's interesting is they said that the National Olympic Committee of Belarus is in good standing and complies with the Olympic Charter, and then compared to the Russian Olympic Committee and noted what I think is very interesting. The quote is, "Noted with concern the recent information that has led to WADA looking into the Russian anti-doping system," which made me laugh because I was like, recent information? It kind of presents it like we just learned about. It's not like, once again, there haven't been like 50 documentaries. We just learned about this. But basically they said the Olympic Committee of Belarus is in good standing. So they're going to, IOC has said Belarus can have the name Belarus and they can have their flag. The individual sports federations like World Gymnastics still make their own call about their own competitions. But this is the IOC directive, basically, at this point. And of course, the IOC governs the Olympics. So that's what they've said at this point. I think we have, questions about consistency, which is always what it is, where you say, okay, the NOC of Belarus is in good standing and complies with the Olympic Charter. What changed between, like, in the last 6 months? Is this just governance based on vibes? Are there specific rules, or are you just like, people have forgotten about this, right? No? Oh. Well, make it a law.
Mm-hmm.
That's my very, clear take on the matter.
Obviously, it's clear as mud. If you want to see a really good documentary about why Russia was originally banned from competing, there is a documentary called Icarus, and it goes into the state-sponsored doping program. And we say state-sponsored because literally it was a government-controlled program, and they show the anatomy of the building, the architecture, where they had a secret wall straight spirally. Yes.
That is such a memorable part of that movie. I will never forget that part. I was like, what?
The wall turns around and the other side has people taking the samples out, putting it back in, turn the wall. Oh my God, you guys, it's so good. Like, it's just a brilliant scheme that, provided a way for everybody to cheat. That is why everybody's banned, because the whole country can't be trusted not to dope. In other news, the firing of the men's program manager, Lisa Mendel. So I was sent a letter, went into this again extensively on behind the scenes, and you always hear everything first. And I talked a lot about how the process of journalism behind the scenes goes into covering something like this. But I was sent a letter from Lisa Mendel's lawyer on May 3rd, and she made a statement about why she was dismissed from USA Gymnastics. The full letter and my article are up on gymtastic.com, and I encourage you guys to read the full letter. So Mendel states that she first became aware of, quote, a possible SafeSport violation from Sean Townsend around April 14th, 2026. She says that on April 15th, she was asked to move an athlete from the club HGA in Texas and I added in Texas, that's where it is, to another gym, and subsequently contacted USAG compliance officer Christina Pachuta to ask whether a SafeSport report had already been received. This is important. According to Mendel, Pachuta instructed her to file a report. Mendel says that she responded that she, quote, did not have enough details to do so, but would file, quote, something, unquote, as instructed. 5 days later, she was fired. Mendel argues that she, quote, never believed she had been provided, quote, a good faith basis to file a report with law enforcement or the center. Law enforcement is really important here because that means that this would be a criminal matter and then should go to the Center for SafeSport. So she alleges that her effort to verify whether reporting procedures had already been followed is, quote, arguably what led to my dismissal, end quote. I reached out to USA Gymnastics and asked them for a response, and this is what they said.
All USA Gymnastics employees are mandatory reporters under federal law who must immediately report suspected or alleged child abuse to both the U.S. Center for SafeSport and local law enforcement. USA Gymnastics takes these obligations very seriously. While USA Gymnastics cannot comment on personnel matters or ongoing SafeSport investigations, Ms. Mendel's statement does not contain accurate information.
I think this is really interesting because I can see from Ms. Mendel's perspective that she feels like she's being singled out. She says that there were multiple other employees of USA Gymnastics who knew about this before she did, and they should have filed a report with the center, especially since this was alleged to be criminal in nature. And she was fired and none of them were. And also a coach involved in this, and also a gym that knew about it. And I reached out to all of those people, including the gym, to ask for a statement. And at the time of this recording, we've received no response from them, only from USA Gymnastics. On the other hand, everyone who works for USA Gymnastics is a mandatory reporter, and so are all the coaches that are under USA Gymnastics. So Lisa is a mandatory reporter. The SafeSport rules are very clear that you do not do your own investigation, that you don't take any time to look into things yourself, that you have to immediately report, and the maximum time to report is 24 hours. It's crystal clear about this. I understand that she feels singled out, and I think if true that multiple other people knew and never filed a report, all of those people are also should be held accountable for that, especially if they are, as she alleges, one of the men's program heads. But we don't know if that's true or not, and we don't know if they did file a SafeSport report or not. At this time, she no longer works for USA Gymnastics, and we'll continue to follow the story. The other things that are interesting about this is that she also alleges in this that basically saying in her statement, like, I know where the bodies are buried and I have no problem telling everybody if this is how you're going to treat me and not treat other people the same way, is that she said, quote, last year, the men's development program director instructed the national team coaches to make certain they didn't tell me what happened at national team camps, end quote. She further alleged that USA Gymnastics, quote, refused to do anything after she reported, quote, a coach had been removed from a plane due to intoxication. To me, those are bigger issues, especially the coach removed for intoxication on a plane, whether that coach was on vacation or on assignment or with an athlete or not. That's a big problem. And we know from being at Winter Cup for years and years that lots of coaches, when they're done coaching, they're like, finally, let me relax and, drink. But being on a plane like that is a big problem. And I think that's a bigger issue that needs to be looked at. So we'll follow the story. And again, I encourage you guys to read her entire letter and my full article on it. And we go into more of the specific SafeSport rules on that. And thank you to all of our Club Gymner members, because you guys are why I can do this kind of investigative journalism and bring this to you. So thank you. Speaking of which, before we talk about the meat news, and I have a new favorite, a Netherlands beam gymnast I'm obsessed with. We had a live show at NCAA Championships with the great Chae Campbell, dancer, UCLA legend. She has a meme. She is a model for Athleta. She's dancing in a video near you at some time or in a commercial. It was an amazing show, and you can still buy replay tickets to watch that show. So there's a little trailer that I'm going to play for you now, but if you want to see the whole thing in context and hear what she has to say, she talked about everything. Get your replay tickets at gymcastic.com.
Going past the line on fuller. Out of bounds. Skip.
They made it to Final Four, but no one kind of expected it.
Minnesota. Brooklyn more.
Oh, December's. Yes,
I want to know what your thoughts are on the growing trend of 2-pass routines.
Yeah, it was a time. I knew that it wasn't for me to train in that environment. So I said peace and moved on and still succeeded. So
let's talk about your UCLA era. Because you went through the whole, it's like a full Taylor Swift, all the albums.
This is actually really the first time that I'm even really talking about it, to be honest, like in full. So
dynamics, team culture, what it was like being on the team in that 2022 season, Chris's last season there, and maybe just an inside look for those of us who were outside it on what was going on inside the team.
No one could actually tell them, yes, she said this. You know, you're either team this person or team that person. Yeah, there's a easy answer and a more complex answer to that. And I wanted to hear from the source what this interview was about. To me, the motives changed and I didn't want any part of that. But my coaches were not racist, and that's the narrative that was kind of put out there. So I didn't agree with that. And it ruined the guy's career. It ruined people's careers. And I felt like, unfortunately, I was part of this like era that was not living up to that.
Just how you're handling talking about this shows so much of your character and integrity.
Thank you. Yeah. That means a lot. We were talking, a pro league, hello? And sign me up, actually. We're going to step out. We're going to swing our arms. Here. Tap, tap, tap. Out.
Who hosts this event right here?
Gymnastics.
Yep.
Wow.
Okay, this finishes our FOMO segment for those of you at home.
Get your replay tickets at gymcastic.com. Spencer, what else can people look forward to if they're a Club Gymnast member?
You get a weekly other podcast every Friday at noon Pacific, unless it's college season or there's a meet or something happening. We do behind the scenes. And if you find yourself listening to this show and responding to us when we say things about like who was the best, actually the best on floor at a various competition, behind the scenes is your chance to actually do that in real time, because you can chat with us as we're talking and say, hey, remember when I was listening to you and I was talking to you like we were in the same place, but we're not even in the same country? You can just actually talk to us. And then we'll be like, oh, good point. Or not, depending on whether your point was good or not. $5.99 a month at gymcastic.com. If you're not already a member, you should do it.
Club Gymnast makes a great gift. And you can also get like a mini commission, or you can email us and maybe we'll do a dedication if you're a Club Gymnast member at one of those at those extra levels. So anyway, we have merch too, and you can gear up for elite season. What is your favorite? What is the next shirt or hat? You don't really wear hats that you want from the store, Spencer.
Well, I told you what actually I want, which doesn't exist yet, but I'm trying to get Jessica to make it, which is I think we should have a crazy gym mom shirt
with wine,
that with like maybe like an animation of a wine glass or something generic, maybe something like slightly less cliche than that. But, you know, that's the general shape of the idea.
And mostly for the boys to wear.
Mostly for gay men to wear.
Yeah. And I yes, that I endorse. I'm going to have to learn how to, besides making it a tank top. That's the only thing that I think screams, it's for you, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Also,
I think there are some crazy gym moms who will own it.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
we're like,
sure.
yeah. Oh, yeah, I am.
Also, we're having a refer a friend program, free for a month. Email us, tell us who you're referring. And pointed toes is not a suggestion. That's our other, that's our other shirt coming up. Gymcastic@gmail.com if you want to refer a friend for a free month. Because you don't want to miss behind the scenes. It's very fun. Meet news. I just want to give a shout out to new Mexican all-around champion, Michele Pineda, for Metroplex / future going to UCLA, because, you know, I've been obsessed with her for a long time. She's such a crazy good tumbler, and I'm super happy for her that that happened.
Other stuff, not just Mexican all-around championships. So In terms of World Championships qualification priorities, the big development over the weekend was the Oceanic Championships, where there was one team spot available and two additional all-around spots available for people who weren't on the teams. With the Oceania Federation,
it's
the Continental Federation. It's Australia and New Zealand at this point. I would love for more members of the Oceanic Federation to be able to have gymnasts compete, but it's Australia and New Zealand. Australia, men and women, both dominated the team competition, so Australia has qualified their teams to Worlds. For the women, we have Algeria and Australia. The other 22 spots for teams at Worlds this year still to be determined. So Australia qualified. New Zealand got two all-arounders, June McDonald and Freya Reid, qualified to Worlds for themselves. So those are not spots for the country or for the federation to decide at will. That is for them, for June McDonald and Freya Reid. They have qualified through their all-around placements to Worlds. Do
you think that in New Zealand, they just hand them a bill when you qualify, since they don't pay for them to go to Worlds? They just, here's an itemized bill of what, now that you've qualified, thank you so much for representing our country. And maybe it has a little sheep on it. It's and like a whale, and it says a fern, a kiwi, and it says, here's how much it'll cost you to go to Worlds to accept this. Anyway, yeah, I'll never give up on this. I can't believe they don't pay for the gymnast.
Not that how much it costs to go to Worlds this year is front of mind for Jessica at every moment or anything.
Do the rugby All Blacks Olympics teams have to? I know the All Blacks, I think, are not the national team. Are they a private team? Are they like a private professional team? I don't know. But did they have to pay? Anyway, carry on, Spencer.
Anyway. In Australia developments, Emily Whitehead won the all-around title. Georgia Godwin competed on 3 events and had the highest score on all 3 of her events. A 14.0 on vault, 14.066 on bars, 13.133 on beam, won all of those.
So how does that compare to like the world level scores right now?
This is the thing, because that is extremely competitive. For if we're looking at last year as the pace, that's a world's all-around medal pace for 2025. If you add a 13.45 floor score to the 3 scores she got, that's bronze medal at Worlds last year. Many caveats. That was the year after the Olympics. We expect this year to be deeper. You can't compare competitions. Just throw in all of those. Yes, basically to say, yes, I know. Whatever yes. But those are extremely strong scores that hold up very well internationally. And that's one of the huge developments from the Oceanic Championship, because those are legit numbers.
And so she, though, has not qualified to, the team qualified to World.
So she would still have to be named to the Australian team, because they'll get to decide their team. I mean, you would have to be insane at this point not to put Georgia Godwin on your World's team. That would be, but it's Australia. It's the Australian Federation. So I don't want to be like, obviously.
And I want to go back I want to go back to June McDonald and Freya Reid from New Zealand. And can you remind people how nominative and not nominative? So it's your spot and only you can go, and your country can't replace you, versus qualifying a spot for the country. How is it now?
So the teams that, like Australia, that qualify as a team, the country will determine their team, like as the United States does for every competition, because they're obviously going to qualify a team. Then they have selection, they pick their team. If you don't qualify as a team, you're getting that spot for yourself. So those all-arounders, if one of them can't go, or for injury or money reasons or scheduling or whatever, it would go to the next person on the list. It's not just like a free spot for New Zealand to decide.
So it could go to someone from another country that doesn't have a team qualified, not the next New Zealander, but the next.
Well, it would be, because Oceanic only has Australia and New Zealand competing. Courtney McGregor, our beloved Courtney McGregor, competed on vault, finished 3rd on vault, but did not do the all-around. So that's why, if you were like, you seem to have not mentioned Courtney McGregor among your New Zealand qualifiers, she competed on vault. but you can only qualify as an individual for the all around from this competition.
So from Oceania, her only pathway was if she made it, she had competed all around.
All 4 events, yeah.
So what other pathways are available?
The pathway in your heart. So she did compete at one apparatus World Cup and did well. So she has a ranking on the apparatus vault overall points system, but she's in 22nd right now. There are 8 spots available. Lots of people ranked ahead of her will not need those spots because it's like Karina Schoenmeier. She's going to qualify because Germany presumably will qualify a team, so she won't use an individual spot. But I do think it's going to be tough because there are a lot of people like Chuso is ahead of her. Chuso's going to need that spot. Some of our other vault specialists like Tabea Belak of Slovenia won the series, so she's going to need that spot. So it's kind of borderline, but I think it's going to be tough, which is a shame because she is ranked below she is a lot stronger vaulter than people she is ranked below because she was only able to go to one event. So she only has one result on her ranking where other people went to 3 events, 4 events, all 5 events. And accrued more points. So it's kind of a sucky situation. #analysis. It sucks. But it's still possible.
Let's talk about the history makers that happened at
yes.
World Cups.
You know how I love a first, especially with a small country. A small country first, like when Luxembourg does something or Andorra does something. That's my favorite thing ever in the entire world. This time, Julia Wiesenhofer of Liechtenstein at the Varna World Cup won the first World Cup medal for Liechtenstein, silver on vault. Very exciting. This is my favorite thing. I don't even care about like who qualified to Worlds. It's just this, Liechtenstein.
Have we ever said the word Liechtenstein on this show before? I don't think we have.
I don't think we have because we would have parsed our different pronunciations of it because you in your German region with your shisha.
You don't you ich. That's
yes.
Yes.
I remember that Uber driver in Stuttgart who tried to correct you.
Yeah, and I was like, "Oh, go fuck yourself. I learned German in the Rhineland and you can talk it." Verpiss dich. I didn't say that. Obviously, that would be super rude, but that's what I was thinking in my head. Yeah.
You were very polite, but I was quietly giggling to myself in the corner. Because obviously I wasn't going to engage with the conversation with a stranger.
Never.
Can you imagine?
You just giggle later. Yeah.
Yeah. I just make Jessica feel self-conscious about herself at any moment by giggling out to the side. It's great. It's a great system. It works perfectly.
It's not actually possible because I suffer from an extremely high sense of self-worth. But yeah.
Okay.
I do enjoy when people try to correct my, if it's legitimate, but if not if it's like versus ich. Yeah. Because I'm right. Gymnastics greatest stars of the week. Let us discuss.
Because the most important thing for gym nerds of a certain era was that VHS of Gymnastics Greatest Stars. But the thing is, there was only one of them, and you could have one every week. That is the truth. You could do this. You could do this every single week. So let's do this every single week, starting with. Not a surprise. This is not an under the radar selection of Gymnastics Greatest Stars. One Flavia Saraiva, who competed over the weekend at the Brazil Trophy. Being a star for all the normal Flavia reasons on beam, also dismounting with a layout and still winning the beam title, because that's a flex. That's a strong, I'm Flavia Saraiva. I'm kind of good at beam flex. I don't even need to dismount, and I'm going to win the event title. So, always a pleasure to see her switch ring. Always a pleasure to see her competing. And we got to do that again. Great.
Mm-hmm. I appreciated it. Who else?
Another star. Okay. Another star. We also got to see, even though it wasn't like a high profile competition, we had some of my other favies to watch this week, which I really enjoyed, including Shante Eva Manqua, who you might remember she was on the British team at Worlds last year, the only double medalist in the women's competition at the Varna Challenge Cup, won floor gold and bars silver. Excellent performance, stuck a double tuck on floor, was just like, hello, This is how you do a routine and get a 13-2-3-3, even with 3 tumbling passes where one of them is a front full, because it's actually about doing less stuff better. And I think that her performance really emphasized. She encapsulated dance, do some skills that you are comfortable with, don't over tumble if that's not going to be your best one, do a double tuck that you can do with excellent form and stick it and win. And this is why we got so frustrated last year and we were getting all pissy about the US floor routines and how they kept scoring 13 ones, because it's like, you should not be scoring that low with your tumbling ability. Compose your routine differently.
Yes.
It was a good example of exactly how to compose a routine to highlight a gymnast's strengths, and it was a delight.
I agree. I saw so many comments that were like, oh my God, can she come to the NCAA? Can she do NCAA? Because one of the things is her gymnastics is so clean. And that's what separates, honestly, NCAA from most of elite gymnastics, is form is more important than your difficulty. But this is what's so smart about it, is she's an E maximizer, which we love.
But also smart D. Because her D score is competitive, even if it's not like her most difficult acrobatic skill is a double pike in her routine. But she can build up the D in other ways, which used to be like the rare phenomenon where we would talk about, like, have you seen the Netherlands? There's someone named Lieke Woivers, and she's doing a different kind of floor routine. What is this? And now it's like, yes, that's what you're supposed to do. It's not like, oh, the odd other solution someone's come up with. Like, that's what they want. That's the recommendation. But speaking of form, I want to talk about something else. Because, on the topic of Amankwa, who also won a silver on bars, what I really like about her she dismounts with a double front on bars, is that she really, in progress, gets those legs together. And there's not a cowboy in sight, except for initiating the skill. And it's kind of my question to you, because I feel like there should be a way to say, yes, there are deductions at the beginning of this skill. When she initiates the double front, flexed feet, legs apart, there are things to take. But then she brings them together, and it's really nice. And I would like there to be a difference in evaluation between someone who has that deduction the entire time versus someone who, it's at the beginning, but then I fixed it. It should be a step up, is what I'm saying. I appreciate the difference. Can we score multiple parts within a single skill?
Yes. Yes.
/ is that a contradiction of my take when we had the figure skating scoring conversation? Because I feel like now I think the opposite. Oh, well.
You can change your mind. This is a sign of intelligence and growth. That's okay.
No, the internet told me that's wrong. So I'm sorry, that's wrong. I learned from the internet that you create one opinion and then you stick to it regardless of any information you might receive in the future.
Yep. Yeah.
And it is someone else's fault, probably.
Always. Yes. I found a gymnast that I am totally obsessed with. Okay. Who's doing my favorite kind of Netherlands gymnastics, Floor Slooff from the Netherlands.
Right.
Yeah. And her name's Floor. So obviously she should be
her best event is a beam.
Champion.
Her best event is also Floor, but I do love her beam.
Yes. So let's look at, if you're a visual listener, she is in finals, I think. She connected her switch half a nodie. Switch half a nodie. Like, I don't know if this counts as a full connection, because I don't know if her arms swung the whole time, if they would actually give it credit, but it's so hard. A switch half a nodie, you guys.
And it's like a real switch half.
It's so high. It is, dare I say, Kalia Lincoln adjacent in height and split.
You're allowed to do a switch half, and it's not the end of the combination like it is for most people. It's the beginning.
It's the please God let me stay on beam. And she's like, oh no, and it's a beautiful anodi. Like, she's very flexible, so she does that very high archy split anodi. I just absolutely love it. And then I was like,
yes, she had a large wobble afterward if you're watching along with us, but we have chosen not to see that.
Yeah, she had a lot of wobbles in that routine.
That's irrelevant.
please, you guys, we're not talking about medals. We're talking about things we love. So then, of course, I had to do
stars.
When I was watching,
it's called Dancing with the Stars, not Dancing with the Wobbles.
I had to do a deep dive on everything about her. So then I found this video of her working on something in practice. And you guys, she's doing a nodi connected to aerial, connected to an illusion.
Great.
Let's watch that again. An onodi to an aerial to an illusion. Do you think the illusion and the aerial to illusion would be connected? Because I feel like there's like a tiny pause, but she's still moving. She's like moving forward.
I'm going to say, if last year's Worlds, maybe also the Olympics, are any indication, we are pretty loose with our connections. It's not as harsh, I think, as it used to be.
Well, then go off, floor sloth.
I'm connected.
Yeah,
I'm connected. That makes sense. You guys.
Yeah, I'm obsessed with it. This is all the things that people are like, when I did my fantasy, highest D score beam routine, and it was just connecting like, a full twisting swing down to immediate double backspin to stand up.
You had a illusion to Rolfova to Lili.
Right. And I was like, no one could do that. And I was like, there's some gymnast in the Netherlands that could do all this shit. There always is.
No one could do this is merely a dare.
We're a dare away from my fantasy. Okay.
No one could do a bardwage to sights or sights to bardwage. And then the gymnasts were like, watch me. Exactly.
Literally the next week, Suni's like, here's my video. Bitches. Remember when you said, Jessica was like, what about your ankles? You shouldn't do all around. Save your ankles. Yeah. Olympic champion. Thank you very much. And he's always right. Okay. Who is your next star of comedy and the week?
One of my favorite things about being able to watch Brazilian domestic competitions is the now annual opportunity to get to watch Maria Eduarda Montesino, who I think her Instagram is Duda or Dudinha. I don't know exactly what she goes by, but Maria Eduarda also. She is my favorite gymnast in the world. That's not an exaggeration because she has excellent gymnastics, like excellent form, great to watch, and is also, you do not have to guess what she is thinking about any routine or skill at any moment. And that is what I like the most. The quality I enjoy the most in a gymnast. When she fell on a double pike on beam and just laid like a mummy for a second and then got up and was like saluted and then looked at her coach like, can you believe I did that? And walked away just telling us all of her thoughts about how mad she was about doing a perfect beam routine and then falling at the last second on a double pike. It was great. She's my favorite. She's always been my favorite. She knows where the camera is. She knows how to play to the camera. You can have your titles. You can have your gold medals. Yeah. She's my favorite. This whole thing was really the Brazil tell us how you really feel trophy. It should be sponsored by telling us how you really feel. Like there's no keeping it in a perfect way, in a complimentary way. Like Larissa Machado won the vault title and landed a Yurchenko double full as her first vault, landed it successfully, burst into more tears than a gymnast has ever had when she landed that vault. She was just like, my life is complete. I can't believe it. I won vault and I landed that. I landed it Yurchenko double full in competition. I am the winner. This is perfect. Yeah. It's great. They're experiencing all the emotions I don't experience.
I also enjoy just how much dancing and dance cam. Like, remember we used to have the Sam McCulloch dance cam? And Brazil always has a dance cam at any time during these meets. There's
the whole meet is a dance cam. and again, for event finals, great crowd.
Excellent.
Packed arena. Super enthusiastic. Yeah, it's all happening. Thais Fidelis also had a great competition. She won floor, medaled on beam. Lohane Oliveira medaled on floor. Like, it was a great competition if you are like 25 plus, which we also love.
And then in the United States, we had the level 10 nationals, which is now called developmental nationals, where there are 700.
It's still level 10. It's just not JO anymore.
It's not Chae. It's developmental level 10. And there are 1 bazillion national champions. If you wonder
there
why.
are 100 bazillion age groups. Each age group takes 3.5 hours. It's a whole constant weekend. I feel like everyone who was even thought about that competition deserves a 3-week nap because it seems like so much. Big winner, Raeya Linton, Stanford signee, and has competed elite for representing Jamaica, had the top overall all-around score of the whole competition and got a 10 on vault.
Raeya Linton did the amazing punch double front half. Punch, I'm Protonova /
On which event?
On floor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Not beam? Because I'm ready for it on beam.
Oh my God, I bet she could. It's just so cool. Yeah, she's I'm really into her gymnastics and her whole vibe. And she also has an amazing pose on beam, which is the Black Power fist in the air choreography is part of her beam routine. And I am here for that. Did you hear about the multiple floors that broke?
No.
It was 2017 Worlds all over again, but it was not the same brand of floor. So some people had no idea, so their floors were fine. But yeah, it's not great. Maybe they need to put them together better or have a better safety check, or maybe the floors can't handle the power of these gymnasts anymore.
The floors can't handle 1,500 3-hour sessions of competition.
That could be it.
Yeah, it's mostly I pay attention to this for these are the gymnasts who are going to be the ninja level 10s in college gymnastics next season. So I'm mostly paying attention to people who are starting college gymnastics next year and not the other people. And it is largely the usual suspects. It's like, oh, a bunch of people who are committed to Alabama did well, and Arkansas and Missouri and all of this. But I do love it when there are gymnasts who have great results who aren't going to the usual suspect schools. San Jose State had a great competition. There were a lot of people who are committed to San Jose State who had really good results. And Sac State, NorCal with Raeya Linton, NorCal had a very strong competition. So those are the fun ones because you kind of get to know, oh, you're going to be the under the radar star next season. Or for fantasy, might as well start making your list now for college fantasy season.
Right.
So you're not scrambling at the last second. You can be like, you know who did well? This commit to San Jose State people aren't going to know about. But I've noted this result from level 10 nationals. The work never stops, is what I'm saying. The research, there's no off season for research.
This is true. This is very true. There is a debate.
Librarians don't have an off season. That's Jessica's shirt.
That's right. There is an argument that there are too many qualifiers to nationals, and there's too many national champions, and to have 500
level 10 nationals.
Level 10, right? It's not as special when it's like a factory farm meet, as I like to call them. It would be more special if it was the kind of meet that had much fewer qualifiers, like 10, but include specialists, obviously. It shouldn't have, you can have someone who's just like amazing on bar.
They do have a specialist session now, which they did not used to, but they call it the all-star session, which I think is really condescending. We just have to stop calling it the all-star session because that sounds pejorative.
Right. Yeah. It should be event specialist superstars of the country.
But not you don't have to add like a doth protest too much descriptor. Like you're good when you call, it's like, I'm going to do a rant about apples again. It's like they called them Red Delicious because they suck and they taste gross. And you had to put delicious in the title to try to sell it. If you put delicious in the title of a food, it's gross. Shouldn't have to put that.
We're going to have so many people write in now about Red Delicious.
They look great. They're beautiful. They look so appetizing. And then you try to eat one and you're like, oh, this is bad.
So should there
on this hill, no others. Apples there. Everything else, no opinions.
Now, okay, so should it be way less qualifiers and make the meet like so each person is highlighted? They could go one at a time. It's not 1,000 people at once, and it could just be one day.
Well, that would be nice. And they used to have fewer age groups.
Yes.
Not that long ago. They had A, B, C, and D, and now it's A, B, C, D, E, and F. It is, I think the issue is, how this meet is like not for, this is for you and your families and a lot of this, even though you're a level 10, it's a difficult kind of limbo because you have to be extremely good to be a level 10. You are at the top of your game. You have put in a lot of hours and a lot of money and all of this. But at the same time, level 10 gymnastics is not a spectator sport. And it's certainly not set up as a spectator sport because it's unwatchable as a competition. It's not for fans because you have no idea what's going on. It is for you. So if it's, I'm fine being chill about dev gymnastics in general. Like it doesn't need to be the end of the world. It's still have fun with it. And I feel like if you try to make it the bigger deal, like this is a big deal, we're going to limit the number of competitors. I don't know. It's over seriousing the competition that I want to be a little bit more still fun.
I feel like it's such a serious meet and it's so much pressure.
It is totally for the athletes. I mean,
but because this is like, the colleges going to notice me, and at the end of the meet, they've been doing this for years and years and years. They line up all the seniors and then they say what college they're going to, and it's always super, I feel like, judgy on if an athlete chooses not to go to college, then they just stand there like nowhere. I'm
25. I just am still good and I want to compete as a level 10.
Right. Or I'm going to go to technical school and learn to run robots because that's the future. Or I hate school and I don't want to do that. It's totally fine. And it's just I feel like it's a contest about who's going to get a college scholarship and not so much about being a level 10. And I'm just like, oh my God, if you just saved all this money on gymnastics, no one would need a scholarship and you could pay for, but it's
that's a bigger conversation. Yeah.
But I also, I want people to feel special and, to be highlighted and, but not with spotlights. Speaking of gymnastics greatest stars, no spotlights.
Yeah. I don't know. Cause I feel like to me, level 10 nationals is kind of an in-between, is this a spectator sport where you're trying to make it an audience event? Because I kind of don't think it is trying to maximize audience interest. And that's how I feel about Worlds, where I'm like, there are too many people qualified at Worlds because you need to it's great for those gymnasts and those programs, but you need to maximize the interest, the spectators' interest time, whereas you don't with level 10 nationals because it's not set up to be a spectator event.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually.
That's kind of...
Because if it was, it would be on a podium.
Right. It would be, and you would go one at a time, not juniors and seniors and 50 different, people running around everywhere.
I do in wrestling for our national championships, they would do, if you made a final, they would have a little bio about you, and it's wrestlers, so everyone would make it super goofy. But I do like that, highlighted. In wrestling nationals, when you make it to the finals, you are on podium too. So wrestling has a podium. That's all I'm saying. I mean, it was elite nationals technically, but there's no levels. So, and now it's time for the Gymternet news.
Oh, there's a jingle.
Jingles.
Is that new, or have I just never noticed that?
You never notice any of that because I usually put it all in afterwards when I edit.
So it's not my fault.
You never know what happens at what the final product of the show is.
Why would I need to listen to the show? I was there the first time.
Okay, so number one, Jessa Hansen Parker at UW gets an extension. That's University of Washington for the un-Seattle initiated. Yeah. So she was at Cal, I think Iowa before. So she got a big ass contract extension for 5 years. So through 3031, which is almost to the next Olympics after this Olympics, which is Brisbane.
Correct.
Yeah. So 2031. That's what I said. Did I say 3031? No, 2031. You guys.
This is another Kara Akers beam bronze all over again. I was like, it's probably 2031. That's how tired I feel.
The case against Veronique Legras-Snook has been dismissed. So this was the French Ministry of Sport dismissed the disciplinary proceedings against former French women's high-performance director Veronique, who has been accused of physical and verbal abuse following a 2023 investigation. So in a decision, the ministry noted the accusations came from former gymnasts excluded from selection, while Legras-Snook presented around 20 testimonies in her defense. It also said the possibility of underlining conflicts between clubs and the federation influenced the case, and this could not be ruled out. So basically, they're saying, oh, this is a case of you didn't choose me for a team. Interesting. But 20 testimonies in her defense, and hopefully part of the defense was people that said this physical and verbal abuse never happened. Why everyone should have a video camera in the gym, because this is how we get evidence that can be that it protects coaches and it also protects athletes. This is the good thing about it. Exonerating evidence. That is what it can provide. Speaking of which, did we already talk about Voinia? Camilla Voinia, Sabrina's mom, the federation is clawing back 30,000 Romanian dollars from her and the club because she was supposed to be coaching all of these gymnasts and she wasn't. I wonder why, because maybe after that video came out, nobody of her abusing her daughter, no one is sending their kids there. So now they want that money back. So that's going to be interesting to see what happens. Galazo, the Romanian news outlet, is doing a great job of covering all of this, including what happened with Ana Bărbosu and explaining. There's a great article we have in the show notes that explains all the examples of like how a whereabouts violation can happen. And the Romanian leu obviously is their currency that they are clawing back from Voinia. It's not all just gym rubles, apparently, or Romanian dollars, Romanian leu. Jordan Bowers is going home. She is a Nebraska native. And she, in her new last name, is Gamboa. She married a gymnast from the Oklahoma team, although he had to retire from concussion. But now she has been added to Nebraska's coaching staff. So do we have enough Oklahoma alums that like every Division I team has an Oklahoma?
You've got to have an Oklahoma alum.
If you don't
it's
have an
not
Oklahoma,
as important as having an emotional support gay boy, but it is probably kind of important.
There might be openings on teams.
Many teams are not fulfilling their responsibilities in this regard and have an opening.
Yes.
Why they went from 3 coaches to 4 coaches.
This is so sad. The former gym of the Gadarovas and Ondine, or current gym of the Gadarovas, a former gym of Ondine, has burned down, burned down. Lynx Gymnastics Center in Robbins Close in Aylesbury. I mean, the only thing left are like the bars, which who knew bars were indestructible? Apparently they are. It's crazy how the gym looks. I mean, they're literally going to have to demolish the entire building and buy all new equipment. So they have a GoFundMe up. And I think part of that GoFundMe is like, what do they do in the meantime? Is there a temporary place? Because it's going to take a long time to demolish everything, rebuild it, buy all the equipment back, get the insurance, all of that stuff. So Faith Torres has won the Honda Sport Award. So she is now a finalist for the Collegiate Women Athlete of the Year. So very excited for her. Game changes. So first, the Gymdle, our daily gymnastics word game, is now free for everyone. You don't need a login. You don't need to be a club gymner. You can just play. You can tell your friends, your training partners, your cousin who keeps asking you what a Yurchenko is. They can play now. So members, we did not forget about you. Last week, we launched the Gym Bee. It's a daily spelling bee style word game built on our own gymnastics dictionary. So it has words like Corbett, Nastia, Komanichi, all of that. It counts.
Komanichi?
It's a silent. It's for spelling. Anyway, that is a member exclusive game. And so you guys can play that now. We also have our referral program. We're piloting a referral program. So you sign up, send us an email that your friend signed up with, customerservice@gymcasted.com. Make sure you put referral in the subject line and we will handle the rest so that we know, hey, you referred this person. Send us that email and we'll set them up for a free month. So they can try all the games, try out behind the scenes, see what they think. And we'll credit you for a month too. So you also get a free month with Refer a Friend. And this is good now. So take advantage of it now and try it out. It's time for mini commissions.
Yes,
So-
one of our favorite topics.
So this mini
Or our
commission,
favorite concepts, I should say. A mini commission.
yes. So these are our world champion. These are from our world champion level Club Gym Nerd members. And, you know, Club Gym Nerd members help us pay the bills. And in return, you get thank you goodies. Like you get the extra podcast, the Q&A podcast every single week. And you get immediate reaction podcasts live after competitions. And you get discounts on merch. You get a discount on live show tickets. And that you can get all the details at gymcastic.com under the Join the Club tab. And so world champion level Club Gym Nerd member Christy had this mini commission for us.
Christy said, I became a gym nerd ahead of the Paris Olympics and love that I am a more informed gymnastics fan and better gymnastics mom to my 2 daughters who are currently competing at the XL gold level. Thank you. As I have learned more about both elite and NCAA, I find myself wondering how easily some of the NCAA stars could shift into elite if they chose to, and how they would fare in that arena. I'm thinking about amazing gymnasts like Jordan Bowers, Selena Harris-Miranda, Gabby Gladio, etc. They have such beautiful gymnastics. Can you talk about what it would take for NCAA stars like these to compete elite today? What are the biggest obstacles? If each of you could draft a team of 5 NCAA favorites that you think could more easily transition into high-performing elites, who would they be? Please don't choose athletes that have recently competed elite. Whoa, okay. Want to start? Let's start with biggest obstacles.
Yeah, money.
Money? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And
needing to have a job, maybe needing to have a job instead of training 30 hours a week, 20 to 40 hours a week.
If you are still, so most of these universities have a special scholarship for when your eligibility is up, but you still need like another year to graduate. They have a scholarship for that. And that's a lot of the assistant coaches that we see. That's what the money that they're on for that assistant coaching position is, this finish your degree scholarship.
They're the 1 year after you graduate. Yeah.
Basically your 5th year of you can't compete anymore, but you can work for your scholarship. So if you're in that position, it's easier to fill the gap and like make national team, get your funding from national team before you are, you graduate and you have nothing to support your gymnastics. But I mean, people have done it. People have worked and paid for their gymnastics, like Mohini Bhardwaj, and made an Olympic team and won an Olympic medal.
And then had to spend the rest of her life talking about Pamela Anderson.
With the help of Pam Anderson, who helped her.
But yes, I think to Christy's point, it is, as you mentioned, they are amazing gymnasts, and it is not an ability level issue. If you were desire, time, money, and luck with injuries, many of the top college gymnasts could be very successful elites, and most of them were on that track as juniors and either elected not to continue, couldn't continue, so much of it is luck with injuries or weird training situations or club gyms where you weren't happy or anything. A lot of them were on that track and given a different timeline would have been, Olympians, top US elites, but things didn't go that way. I would add the system in the capital S system of gymnastics is not set up for these athletes because you have to be sent by your national federation to do almost anything. You can't just decide to go. It's not enough to be good enough, which is the unfortunate part of gymnastics. Like, if I'm good enough to compete at this World Challenge Cups, can I go? No. You have in the US, you have to play the game. You have to qualify elite. You have to be on the national team. You have to go to the camps. If gymnastics had a situation like a tennis or a golf, sorry, Jessica, for mentioning golf. I know it's triggering because of how boring it is. If they had an independent tour where you could just be like, I am me and I want to enter this event because I'm a professional athlete and I'm going to enter this event, I think we would see a lot more of those top college gymnasts maybe try it out for a year or two. Like, hey, I'm still healthy. I still like doing this. I want to see how it goes. But the system is not set up for that in a way that I don't care for. I think it should be like a tour, just a tour where you are just you. And yeah, federations, financial assistance, great, do it. But you can also just go.
Yep.
You're SUNY and you want to get that skill named after yourself at a World Cup, still not over it. You could just go.
Yep.
That's what I want. That's
Never
the situation
forget.
I want. And while we're on that topic, and there was a World Challenge Cup this weekend, I would like to complain. I don't think you should be limited to 2 per country on the entry list for World Cup events per event, per apparatus.
Yeah.
I mean, if you wanted to still do that for event finals, for the finals, like at Worlds, 2 per country, okay. I would also like have some meets where you don't have that would be great too. But you should be able to enter more people than that. That also doesn't help.
Yep. I also think like these World Cups, there's just no one at them. Which I do appreciate that gave Turkey an opportunity to have a full symphony on the floor. But there was plenty of room to have a full symphony. But I wish there was a reason to get star power to these meets. And I think part of that is if it was, you don't have to be have qualified.
Jade, you don't have to get on national team again. If you wanted your first meet back to be like a World Challenge Cup where you compete vault and see how it goes, do it. You want that to be, the situation if that's what you the athlete wanted. Right.
And maybe that the federations don't pay for it. You pay for yourself to get there if you're not on national team. But I also feel like if you're an Olympic champion, you've proved yourself this whole way, like maybe you give people the benefit of the doubt.
But there should be more options, and it shouldn't be so dependent on like, oh, you're harkening back to Courtney McGregor in New Zealand. It's a lot harder for you to get to most of these meets than if you are like in Eastern Europe and you're a train ride away from half of the World Challenge Cups. Yep. Versus this is a huge expense and it's it's there's a lot of problems.
Yes. Yeah.
Exactly. And another thing, welcome to the segment of the show we call "And Another Thing." I'm mad about.
I want to go back to the job thing for a minute because I feel like a lot of people will hear that discussion of money and they'll be like, but NIL. But the thing is, like, the people that get good NIL money, it's like normally they're hot or beautiful. That's 2 of the things that are just facts of the world. Or they've had like a viral moment, and and they can be all 3 of those things at the same time too. But the viral moments,
hot, and good at gymnastics. That's what those are your 3. Is that what a triple threat is?
100% of gymnasts. But it is also, it depends on like how the moment was shot, what the distribution rules are. Like if it's, if there was it was even on TV or even filmed in the moment, all of those things like make a huge difference, which is why sometimes I feel like people were shocked, like Minnesota or Denver are as good as they are because they don't see them as much. And and they're amazing. But I want to go to NIL. I think NIL, the really big deals that set people up for life are far and in between. There's not a ton of those still. There are, there's one gymnast a year who gets that kind of deal in college.
Mm-hmm. We can't all be Livy Dunn is what you're saying.
Exactly. Like, yes. And also it's like, did everybody set themselves up in middle school so they could get to that level by the time they were in college? It was many years of her developing that following. But I think there is an opportunity for that, but it's not necessarily what everybody has at their disposal. And a lot of people that are doing that, they're sponsoring the team. But I think it would be, I think it is an opportunity for gymnasts to think about this and make deals that carry over into their post-gymnastics life, which is one of the things, Olivia talks about. I still call her Olivia because that's what we called her when she was a baby cherub 12-year-old and junior. But she talks about, she didn't know about equity. She didn't know about owning a piece of the company instead of just being paid. Like, I am going to invest in this. Like Athleta did with moving to Athleta versus Nike. It was like she wanted a company.
You said Athleta.
Oh, sorry. Simone moving to Athleta from Nike, she said she wanted a company that would support her through her entire life and all the chapters of her life, like not necessarily just gymnastics. So yeah, that is another thing that I think people don't necessarily, have in mind, because it's hard to know about all this stuff. Like, it's not everyone's in business school.
Yeah.
So now
moving on to the I do want to entertain the gymnastics part of this as well as the practicals and the system. The composition of college gymnastics does not directly translate, at least on all the events. I would say, especially bars, the college gymnastics routines are way too short to be competitive in elite. Even the people who are doing some difficulty in college bars and are great on it, that's like half a routine, and you need to add a second half to be competitive enough. But that's not necessarily true. I mean, not true on vault. An NCAA level top team, Yurchenko 1.5, would win gold at any of the challenge cups we're watching. So you have that, like the Yurchenko 1.5s we see on the top teams remain very competitive in most elite contexts. Are you going to win? You would need some other top events with your clean Yurchenko 1.5, but on that event, that's very competitive, but you do have to add more skills. A lot of these athletes do have those skills in their back pockets. They're not putting them in their routines because it would be, there's no reason to in college. It would be a score killer, but you can't just go to an elite meet and expect to score well with your college routine. You have to make some small or large composition changes to adjust to the code, add skills. Doesn't have to be add a tumbling pass. It could be add dance elements, change things around, make sure you're fulfilling those requirements. So there's work to do.
Yeah, there definitely is. And you need to know the code, or you need coaches who know the code, because we have never forget the sabotage of the Finnegan and the split leap. The split leap sabotage. Leah Finnegan deserved better. But the other thing I would say about this is, to your point, many of the top college gymnasts they are as good or better than the gymnasts you see in the elite World Cup circuit. They're just doing different. The
priorities are different in a college code.
Right. So they have to change their routines, but like the competitiveness, like, could they go into those, add a couple more skills that they probably can all do because they've been doing these since they were 6? It would not be hard. But there's so many barriers. But yeah, like, I watch World Cups and I'm like, and then NCAA and I'm like, yeah, this vault final versus an NCAA vault final.
What NCAA vault final are you talking about?
Day 1 is vault final. I will never have apparatus finals taken away from me. Okay. But now to the fun part. I want to do this draft that we were commissioned. So Christy said, if you each of you, and I'll say one. You say one.
Okay.
Okay.
So we're drafting a team of 5 NCAA favorites that could more easily transition into high performing elites. This is a really interesting project because it's not just thinking about this. It's not just who are the best, college gymnasts, because there are some people who I wouldn't have like college shows them off the best. Like, I'm thinking I wouldn't pick a Lily Smith, amazing college gymnast, but that's her code. Like, college is her system. And I wouldn't pick her for NCAA. Do I get first pick?
Yes, you get first pick.
Okay. That one's easy. I'm picking Avery Neff.
Yeah. I 100% agree.
She has the difficulty. She has the execution. She could put together elite skills. It's been true for her for a long time that, like, if you wanted to go elite, like, you could be successful.
Yep.
Okay. I'm picking Avery Neff. Done.
Okay. I agree. Mine is Chae, who from GymCats and now LSU. And I will say, I know, and Scott Bregman did great reporting on the Olympic Channel for this. but she has said, she was an elite, but a long time ago. And
so that doesn't. So that's for clarification. We couldn't choose athletes that have recently competed elite, so that's not recent.
Recent,
that doesn't
no.
count as recent. Okay.
When she was 15, does not count as recent. I feel like people who competed elite were elite and then went to college. They don't qualify.
Whoa, wait. That's a completely different conversation.
Yeah, like you can't pick. You can't pick.
Okay, so we can't pick Jordan Childs, obviously,
right? Because she's still competing elite. She never stopped. Jade Carey, you couldn't because she never stopped competing elite.
Okay, but can you pick like Theta? Because I would say no, she does not qualify because she was elite,
right, because she never stopped being elite,
right up until college.
Yes. So that's why my team doesn't have any. One person was stopped being an elite for a year.
Wait, I feel like you have decided what your team is already, but we haven't drafted.
Okay, anyway, go ahead. So I have Chae, even though she said, you know how I feel about rules. They don't apply to me.
I know that you have decided your team, but what if I take one of them?
So, all right, hold on. I'm not done with Chae. Chae said, back to Scott Bregman's reporting, because giving credit where credit is due, she said her body couldn't handle elite.
Yeah.
This is the difference. I think when you go to a school like Oklahoma, like a LSU that has basically the space shuttle of rehab, prehab, injury rehabilitation stuff.
Space shuttle,
you get in a spaceship and it
really healthy things to do, like astronaut.
Your body, like that, can help you understand what more, and the older you get, you know your body better, so you have more control and you can say like, this doesn't work for me, this does work for me, etc. So I feel like she might be able to do it as long as they don't make her do so much that her Achilles blows. But then a rehab Achilles is a better Achilles, so maybe that would be in her favor. But anyway, Chae.
All right, I have Avery Neff second pick. I would take Selena Harris-Miranda.
Yes,
for my team. She has the skills. You can add, that beam. She could magic up an elite beam in a second.
So consistent. Has fallen in love with gymnastics again at Florida. Made the statement about she wants to coach now, and thanked Gym Cats for being part of her story. And it's just I love to see this when people find the right place for them, how everything can change for them, and they can find the love of gymnastics again. So I agree. Okay.
I'm taking Selena Harris. Okay.
Nikki Smith, MSU.
Solid. Mm-hmm.
Good everywhere.
Yeah.
I feel like her potential is so much higher than what she's doing. I just feel like if she competed in international meet, the judges would be like, eat the pencil, throw it away. Nobody needs it.
Good. It's so good. I want to eat a pencil. Okay, yeah, she makes you eat a pencil. That's good. Okay, I'm gonna go with Lily Peterson for my third selection. I really feel like she could stand up to elite composition.
Yep. And I feel like she's solid and strong, and I feel like her body is holding up really well. And I feel like this is another thing.
Except for that time she got sick. But she was she missed a bunch of meets this season because she was sick, and that doesn't count. When you go to college, you're around a bunch of dirty boys. And this is one of them. Everybody gets sick. It's like going back to kindergarten. It's boys' fault, yeah.
It's always, there's some nasty boy who didn't cover his mouth when he sneezed, and then you touch the same seat or whatever. It's, Peterson also is a clue for the games this week, by the way. Just saying.
Spoiler alert.
So that's a little hint for you guys. Okay, so yeah, I agree with that one. And I feel like
that one. Okay.
I agree. This is the problem. I saw your list and I was like,
there are no wrong answers.
All my people.
Actually was not intended to be my choice. I was just writing names down as possibilities.
Yeah. I feel like we should have here's another one that I'm putting in the draft. Chloe Cho of the Cho Show, Illinois.
Okay. Uh-huh.
So consistent. So good. Her beam is another one. Beam and vault. Put her in a World Cup final. Put her at Worlds. Totally will stand up.
So this counts as having not competed elite recently enough?
Yes, because when was the last time she competed elite? She stopped for Illinois, right?
I mean, just like she did elite and then went to Illinois.
Oh, she didn't compete like level 10 in between?
Maybe.
I thought she did.
Oh, we'll allow it. Sorry,
Thank
Christy, if we broke the rules. I'll give you Chloe Chow.
Okay. Who's your next one?
Okay, well, we haven't selected Anna Roberts yet. So obviously Anna Roberts for Anna Roberts because of Anna Roberts. So that's done, right?
Yes.
Because, like, could you go to a Challenge Cup and Shante Eva Manqua a 13-2-3-3 and win floor? Yes.
Yes. And another one, the judges eat their pencils.
Yeah.
Like, it's so good. I don't want to use this thing. I'm just going to, They fling them to the ceiling because they're not going to use them because her form is so good. Yeah.
That's the name of Jessica's committee to get gymnastics judging to enter the 21st century in terms of technology and electronics. It's going to be called Judges Eat Your Pencils Incorporated. You shouldn't have a pencil. You need to have an iPad.
Okay. My next. Okay. Kaylee Boozer.
Ooh. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Boozer.
Beautiful execution.
Gorgeous execution. Is strong everywhere. Is one of those that I feel like her gymnastics could hold up. She can D and E score it so hard in elite, and I just think she has like a charisma and performance quality that I think would lend itself well, translate well to elite.
Mm-hmm. Well, so what events are you having her do in this 5-person worlds team? Like she's a specialist. Like Chio's your all-arounder, Nikki Smith's an all-arounder, Boozer's well, she's not doing bars, right?
No, she's not doing bars. She would do floor and beam.
Yeah. I mean, she has a beautiful Yurchenko full.
Yes.
That could score well.
Right. It could score well, but it's not, one of those where I'm like, you have maybe she has tons of stuff. That's a thing. Like she's one of those that I imagine has a bunch of different vaults that she could probably do beautifully.
But I think her Yurchenko full, when she is on, when we've seen it, like we've seen her stick a Yurchenko full for 9-9 college scores. So
yeah,
like at least once. Okay. I have one more spot. Well, okay. Maggie Slooff, obviously.
Duh.
You think she can't handle elite? Done.
She can fly her own plane to the competition. Come on.
Well, that saves on the cost.
Right. Exactly.
This is how we get New Zealand tied back around. This is how we get New Zealand to Worlds. Maggie Slooff's going to steal a plane from the Air Force. It'll go fine. And
this is how we want our tax dollars to be spent.
Right. If we can't use them to fly the New Zealand team to Rotterdam, then what is the point of it?
What is the point? Did you see the story about a family that took like they took some kind of, the big cargo planes where the butt opens, those military planes? They're in all the zombie movies.
Yeah, I do know exactly what you're saying. Unfortunately, where the butt opens was the exact, I knew exactly what you were talking about, and that was the exact useful description for me. It's just unfortunate.
World War Z. That's what I'm thinking of. I've watched that movie so many times. I love it so much. Anywho, some family like took that to go to Disneyland somehow. And I was like, this is genius.
What's going on in this world?
They're flying there anyway. Why not put a family to go to Disneyland on it? Tax dollars at work. Kamara Williams is obviously.
Okay, at this point, I have to call disqualified.
No.
Because
it was a year. It's been a year since she competed elite. Even though she's so young or graduated at a normal time like me, 17, then
I think we're stretching the category of having competed elite recently, but okay. I will allow it for Kamara. Not for you, but I'll do it for Kamara.
That's so fair. It's so fair. We can agree on that. If you want to commission a mini commission like this where we talk for 10 to 15 minutes about, or way too long, we go way over, we're obsessed.
7 hours. Yeah.
You can join Club Gymternet at the world champion level at gymtastic.com. And our next mini commission comes from Britt who did acro. And now I believe Britt is like a model of physical things in New York City. I don't know how to interpret what she does, but that's essentially. Anyway, she says,
when I competed in the 90s, women's pair top sports acrobatics aligned closely with artistic gymnastics. Now, acrobatic gymnastics seems to align more with rhythmic. Why do you think this is? Does this evolution harm or benefit the popularity of the acro? It's often exhibitioned at the Olympics, and it was amazing seeing the large group performance at Olympic trials last year. But you've mentioned before there's no room for acro in the Olympics under current guidelines, correct?
Okay, so Britt, I did go back and consult. Thank you for all of our listeners who have sent me books over the years, which if you want our business address to send these important tomes, A History of USA Gymnastics, the early years through 1991. It's fascinating. And it's interesting to see how there's another history that's like a complete history that Luan Peshek did, I think. But yeah, I thank you for an opportunity to look back on that. But let's go through the history for a second. Okay. So, Tramp got into the Olympics in 2000. And I feel like, so before that, rhythmic was added in 1984 to gymnastics. Before that, it wasn't. Then Tramp got in 2000. And I think probably when you competed, Britt, you were maybe with the USSA, the Sports Acrobatics Federation. FIG added acro in 1988. So there was 1998, sorry. So there were acro, it was an acro federation. They had world championships. Like this was a big sport. But the FIG sort of took everybody in, and then USA Gymnastics sort of took everybody. So 98 acro was added to the FIG. And then in 2002, it was added to USA Gymnastics as a sport. So this was the Colarossi years and then the Penny years. And now, when Lily came in as the new president, how long ago was that? 2017? Did she start? 2018? No, when did Box of Scars quit? And then we had the person that was anti-Black athletes racism for 2 minutes. Anywho. Oh, never forget.
Perry resigned in 2018.
2018. So
she was December 2017 to September 2018. And what a 10 months it was.
Very entertaining.
The Liz Truss of gymnastics.
So Lily took over in February 2019, and she made the decision that all of the sports need to be treated the same. And it wasn't like, here's artistic and there's everybody else, even though, so they're all funded the same now, but it is still like, here's artistic and everybody else has their championships together. But at least they're all together.
Come up with different names because no one knows the difference between USA Gymnastics Championships and US Gymnastics Championships. No one can tell the difference because it's the same name.
And the US College Championships.
You got to get some different names around here.
Yes. We still want so the thing that happened, why they were all together that one time is the time that it was supposed to be like in Missouri or something, the US Championships, and then the hockey or something won and made the playoffs, so they needed the arena, so then they had to move to a different arena, and that's why all the disciplines were together in the same place for Olympic trials instead of it being so Tramp. And
it was not a COVID reason, is what you're saying. Okay.
Yes. And that was when we had like Charlotte Drury came out because she was the alternate for that team, and we had the rhythmic team there, and they all celebrated together. And that was the first time we saw like Lori in public come out and like chatting with Charlotte, and I was like, oh, are they gonna and now they're an established long-time couple. It's the best. Anywho, you guys, gay history of gymnastics. So to your question, I feel like it kind of was more popular before it got taken in by Acro, by FIG and USA Gymnastics, because I remember like Tramp and Acro used to be like, you would learn Acro things as part of like a fun day at gymnastics. you would learn how to balance on each other or something. Like it was always not cheerleadery, but very acro. One person would lay on the ground, the other person would, stand, and then the other person would do a handstand, whatever. And that was always like trampoline, just integrated into part of your training and a fun exercise to do.
So do you agree with Britt saying acrobatic gymnastics now seems to align more with rhythmic?
Yeah, I think it's gotten pushed over into the like everything except for artistic, which I don't think it aligns with rhythmic at all, except that I think it is an other. It's like when people talk about gymnastics in other countries, they'll ask, oh, like which discipline? Like which are you artistic? Are you trampoline? Are you rhythmic? Whatever. But here it's always artistic gymnastics.
Artistic is the assumption. Yeah.
Yeah. So I
will say also moving into the history, because we did see it. It was at the Youth Olympic Games in 2018.
Yep.
They did acro.
And that was part of, to your question, Britt, it was about the IOC every once in a while considers other sports. And part of it is testing those other sports. And so the reason it was added in 2018 to the Youth Olympic Games was part of a test. Like, what do we think of this? How will it be added? Would this work? And it hasn't been...
fail the test?
I know. I think it might have kind of failed the test. But also, it's not... So right now, the IOC there's only a certain number of... there's an allocation of humans that can compete. And then the number of humans for an Olympics is split up amongst the disciplines. So in gymnastics, the umbrella of gymnastics is artistic, trampoline, and acrobatics.
Rhythmic.
Rhythmic, sorry. I already want,
already replace it. But what about TNT?
Right. TNT and acro, I think, are the ones that should replace rhythmic and tramp. Tramp's too scary. I can't watch it. It's so scary. And I think it's just not as accessible. Acro is so accessible. It's one of the original human sports. Like going back to literally the first people on Earth in like Ethiopia, that acro is still done. The kind of things that were practiced there. So it's the barrier to doing it is low. You don't need any equipment. You need another person, and that's it for acro. So I would replace, rhythmic and tramp with tumbling because it's exciting. Power tumbling.
Double mini.
Double mini. Double mini is so exciting. My palms are sweating just thinking about it. But so to your question, Britt, we would have to either get rid of one of those other sports, rhythmic or tramp, or the IOC would have to kick out a sport and then be like, you know what we really want to do? Give gymnastics more spots and give those spots. Like if boxing was just, they got rid of it finally because it's so corrupt. But are they going to assign those spots?
Speaking of boxing, so the boxing and artistic gymnastics are sharing a venue for LA 28 or the boxing finals. And what?
Marta would have had a field day.
That's the first thing I thought of too.
Yeah. She would just be so horrified.
The history being Bella was a boxer and Marta would always say the gymnasts aren't allowed to talk to the boxers.
Yeah. Get away from them. They're dangerous.
Gymnasts sharing artistic sharing a venue with boxing made me laugh. So pursuant to this topic, in the news this week has been the IOC meeting where they have not made any final calls about the sports program for Brisbane 2032, but indicated that it's going to be smaller than LA 28. They're not going to have as many sports. And so talking about obstacles to acro being added, I think there are obstacles to most things being added. They specifically focused on reviewing disciplines within a sport. Like, so as Jessica said, gymnastics is one of the sports, and then the disciplines are artistic, trampoline, rhythmic. They said they're reviewing the disciplines and especially are going to target for, I mean, they didn't say target for elimination, but, we're reading between the lines a little bit, but not that much. Events within a sport that require their own competition space or significant modifications to a shared space or with a separate group of athletes, those are the ones that are going to be in trouble. So I think an obstacle for Acro, especially, is that separate group of athletes, because they're not the athletes for artistic. So what we've seen added for gymnastics is the mixed team event, which is same apparatus. This is some of them, but same venue, same athletes who are already going to the Olympics, no additional quota spots because it's already the people who are going to be on the teams competing in another event. So those are the disciplines that I think are in the best position. Team sports, because it's team. Disciplines where you don't have to get a new place or add anything and it's cheaper are the ones that are going to be added. Acro with completely different athletes that's a struggle to sell. And also it's not like cool young person, popular viral sport kind of thing, which is also kind of what you need to sell the addition of a sport.
The interesting thing about that is I think there is an advantage for Acro over Rhythmic uses a different floor. So that's
right. So you can, in the past, you can have it in the same venue, but Paris and LA, it's a different arena for Rhythmic.
Yeah. No, wasn't Paris the same? I think Paris was the same arena because we just had it on the day off, didn't we? Or was it Tramp?
I thought it was, well, you were there, so I'll defer, but I thought it was a different arena.
And then, but you have to, it's a totally different floor. It's not bouncy. It's more like a dance floor with a carpet. And then
does Acro use the Rhythmic floor or did they use the artistic floor?
I think that's a good question. I don't know. Because I feel like nowhere actually has another floor for them. I think it's more like I don't know. Well, we'll find out. Stay tuned. One of our Acro specialists will call it. I never thought about that actually. But I think, so that's a negative check in the Xbox for Rhythmic is corruption, like boxing. And there's constantly judges. And what?
Gender equity.
Gender equity, exactly. The pluses for Acro, gender equity, same athletes to do everything. You could just make it mixed pairs. Or it has to be the same mixed pairs that you then have women's and men's compete separately if you wanted, or you could just be like, it has to be mixed pairs the entire time. And they could potentially use the same equipment probably. So there's an option. But I was thinking for Australia, they'd want to add cricket or some kind of football because that's like the most popular, anywhere the British have been. That's why, all of India is so good at cricket and they've outdone British. But cricket's already been added to LA in preparation for Australian Olympics, I think. We won't have flag football.
I think it's because of the American love, the famous American love of cricket. Mm-hmm. We love cricket in this country and we know all the rules and never make fun of how long it takes.
Never, ever. It's nothing like Quidditch. You never know what's going to end 5 days later. But we won't have flag football because that was like a dumb thing that was added for the US. But yeah,
would fact checker like to weigh in?
It's fun. He has a ticket. He's going to go with his brothers or something. It's, to be a fun thing that happens, once. At least it's flag. At least it's not guaranteed CTE sport. Those should be eliminated. That's why we watch them. They should be put in the Winter Olympics where everything will kill you. So, Britt, it's not looking good for Acro, but it's not impossible. If they use the same floor and they could just move things around, they might be better. It just depends on the power of the Eastern Bloc with the former Eastern Bloc, the still Eastern Bloc with Rhythmic, I think, and how much they weigh. Because man, do they love that Rhythmic. Yeah, they love it. Okay, if you want to do a mini commission like Britt and Christy did, you can join Club Gym Nerd at the world champion level, and we will talk about whatever you want for 10 to 15 minutes, as long as it's tangentially gymnastics related. You could do a, 7 steps from Kevin Bacon. What is it?
6 degrees.
6 degrees. Thank you. And we can talk about whatever you want. It just has to have something to do with gymnastics, and you can join the club at gymcastic.com. Spencer, will you let the people know what is happening with the game?
Yeah, gymnastically, we've got Chinese championships and NHK in Japan coming up, which is going to be significant for Japan's Worlds teams because they're going to name it based on that because Worlds is, tomorrow and not months away. Never mind. Not for today. Save it. Save the complaints. I do it enough. That is what's happening gymnastically. We will have that we'll talk about that in 2 weeks for you.
Yes. Next week, we have Sam Oldham here, and he's going to talk about the gymnastics spy who followed him around and then how he saw the whole spy database. I'm so excited for this. We do not have behind the scenes this week because I will be at my niece's graduation, but we'll come back the week after. Don't forget to get your replay tickets for the live show while they're still available. And we will see you next week with the Sam Oldham spy episode. So remember to take off on gay, split on rights. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.